regional review for the week 12. Saverio,
Yes,
how was overall the week?
very good week.
Glad to know.
Everybody managed to do his job, and it was very nice, well done. And I'm satisfied. I think that the guys had some fun also.
Thanks God.
And
Yeah.
we did everything on time, so milling the wax and waiting for the rubber to cure. So I think it was a good week.
Okay.
And yesterday I did the Italian review also. I was invited as an expert. And you guys here in Paris, you made a far better job than anyone in Italy. Maybe someone in Toscana with the Fiore, they just use metal, so okay, but this doesn't count.
Good. Allora, then I'm curious to see the job. Allora, apart from that, we can do this. Ludovic, did you push and pull? Ludovic? Romain, did Ludovic?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay.
I was turning my microphone on. Yes, I push my job.
Okay, good. Bien. Guillaume?
Yes, I did it yesterday, but it seemed to have been an issue. I don't know.
Okay, allora let's do this. Saverio, let's start by doing the review of, I guess, Tomas, Romain, and I push and pull in the meantime the work of the others. You can share the screen, and I'm gonna look at the screen while I do that.
Okay. Wait a second. Blah, blah, blah. Here, I think. Okay. So this was Guillaume. Let me go back. Thomas. Assignment. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Molding and casting.
Okay. So first of all, thank you, Saverio. It was really a good workshop we did last Thursday, and it was really interesting. We learned a lot. We've learned a lot, so yeah, it was nice, and I had a lot of fun this week. My objective was to make a Lego figurine. So I try to do it as
Tomas, sorry to interrupt, but you should start always from the gift image. Where is it?
Yes, that's true. I put one, but it's later on the page.
The what image?
The GIF image I always put on my page. So yes, at the beginning I just explained a little bit what we've done with you, the little workshop on learning how to use the different techniques, rubber, resin, and the cheap way you showed us, which is really interesting with silicone and cornstarch. And then I begin to make the design of my object. So basically, I just grabbed a 3D model of a Lego character on the internet because I wouldn't have to. Well, the aim was not to create one from scratch, of course. So at first I wanted to do a skeleton, a Lego skeleton, but I realized it would be too difficult to mill correctly because we had a really the milling bit was not as precise as it should be to mill this, because the Lego character with has too much details. Yes, you can see it here. The way I figured this out was to simply model the milling bit in Rhino to see where it could go and where it couldn't. And I saw it was not precise enough, so I decided to make a regular Lego character instead. So yeah, you can see here the different steps of my design. I measured the mold, I reproduced it in Rhino, and etc. And then I did 2 different attempts of milling the wax The first one was not as successful as I wanted, just because I thought we would have a longer 1.5 millimeters milling bit, which was not the case. I should have measured it before, but I didn't. And so after the first rough cut, I realized that the finish cut wouldn't work. So I had to rethink my mold. So first, I wanted to make I wanted to make a mold with two parts, to make one half of the body and the other half, and this way I could just I don't know how to say that. I could just join the two halves together to have to cast one head and one body at once. But I think with the 4 millimeters milling bit, I wouldn't have enough space on my wax block to do it. So I followed Saverio's advices, and I finally decided to just make a mold with one half of the head, one half of the body, the legs and the arms, and I would just have to cast two halves of two versions of the head and of the body, and then glue them together afterwards. So that's what I did. I spent quite some time on the second V-carve version, and Saverio helped me with this, and Arnaud at Roma as well helped me a lot. So it took like 1 hour and a half to
What parameters did you change in the end?
The plunge rate and the feed rate, because it was wax and it's a soft material, it could go higher. So
3 millimeters per second.
Yes.
Okay.
And 1 for the plunge rate.
Okay.
Otherwise,
you even reduced the step over. So I mean, even reducing the step over, it went faster anyway.
We reduced it on the second pass.
Okay.
So for the X, we kept 1, and for the Y, we put it higher. And so here's the result. It's quite clean, actually. It was really satisfying. And so for the molding, I just have to put a piece of wood on the left side to make it really tight, and so yeah. I followed your advice, and I brushed my my mold with the rubber before pouring it in the mold. And yeah, it worked fine, no bubbles at all, so everything went okay. You can see the result here.
So the mold, good?
Yeah, very good. And then I did my resin mix. So I used some aluminum powder. I put some in the mold, and then I put some in the mix.
Okay.
But the only thing I didn't think of is that the outer part of the legs is in contact with the air, so it's not in contact with the rubber, so there's no aluminum powder on it, so the result is a little strange, but it's okay.
You could add the powder later when it's at this stage, when it's still wet. You can just put some powder on it.
Yeah, but I realized it when it was already demolded, so of course. And so here are the final parts. So I just have to make a little sanding and then to assemble them together. I must say they're not completely how do you say it, press fit, let's say, because it's some parts are more are a little convex on the top, some others are not, and so
for
completely. But the result is great anyway, I think.
Yeah, it looks very good. How tall is it?
I took a photo. On the bottom of the page, you can see with other Lego parts. So it's cool. It's quite big.
Great. This looks like the figure of the bad guy from that movie with Keanu Reeves when someone sent like an alien comes to the Earth with a giant robot and it's made of metal, and
Yeah.
they say they want to destroy the world. What was the name of that movie?
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
this one. So here it is.
Okay, but I think it's a very great job.
Thank
Now,
you.
I have to say that it's one of the best molding and casting projects that I saw. It's
Thank you.
really absolutely beautiful. In terms of machine, there is a machine that you used. Okay, there is no, I don't see any setup on the page that you follow for, no, I see it, I see, sorry, I'm sorry, but I don't see the machine itself. And
Oh.
to be honest, from here in Barcelona, I was quite worried quite worried about this topic. So I see that you put it up in CMIL for the vibration of the world, but it would be nice to have some picture of the piece there, you know, of the process, because I really I cannot understand if you use the modella, if you use a small CNC or whatever. So
It's done in the big CNC.
from what I understand from the first part, yes, that's what I got. So is it done with the big CNC or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean everybody's assuming that we are using the big CNC because the small one is not capable of doing this job.
Yeah.
But actually, you should specify it in your page because in other Fab Labs they are using different machines.
Okay.
So we have to. I mean, you student, you should specify that you are doing it on a big, large format CNC machine.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's for sure. But more than everything, because it's already an incredible work, and it's absolutely well documented. It just add an extra, an extra point on the board that you did. It's a very beautiful project, and I try to publish what you did. I will try now with Make Magazine or another channel to publish this result, because I guess it's worth. So congratulations to you and Saverio for the setup, and I guess also to Miguel, that probably helped a little bit now with the CNC. I don't know. I'm just
Yes, it
guessing.
is. Thank
Okay.
you.
Very well, very well. I really hope that you learn something out of it. Chirac, that is coming now quite often to the regional review. Uh, can you also, probably you commented in the you commented for sure, but can you tell me again about the material that you used?
The original material for
Not the hard mold.
ah,
In the soft one, the one that you cast.
it's polyurethane resin, polyurethane resin, and I just added some aluminum powder in it.
Aluminium powder, very
Yeah.
good. Saverio, it was your tip. This one.
It's a technique I showed them is to add aluminum powder to one of the two components and mix them, and to add some aluminum powder to the sides of the mold. So it was done as I would done it. So this technique is called cold casting, cold metal casting, which means like that you are casting metal but in a cold way. So it's like fake metal casting. Okay, it's a technique used very much in special effects.
Very nice. The super nice results, Saverio. Okay, perfect. Do we want to move to Ludovic? He should have his page online.
Okay, it should be this one.
Yes, it should be, yes.
Let me.
Did you check that your page is online?
Weekly assignment. Yes.
Is it there?
Go down. Go down. Yes. Molding and casting. So thank you again, Saverio, for the presentation you did last Thursday.
Thank you.
It was very interesting, and it's for me the opportunity to make you a big thank you because practical workshop was very learning for us.
Great.
So what I wanted to do, so I wanted to do something useful to mold. So I go back to my reflection about my fab pong. So so I work on the launching system, and finally for several weeks I stabilize the idea of the launching system will be done with some wheel, some rotative wheel, which could take and eject the pinball balls. So thanks to an upper wheel and a lower wheel, balls would be ejected. First version will be with 2 wheels, but maybe we can add 4 wheels in the second versions. So this system has many advantages. First, I think after the last 2 weeks we spent on the machine, I think it's possible to make it by digital fabrication. Secondly, we can control the rotation speed of each wheels, so we can control the speed of the balls. We can control the effect of the balls. For instance, the upper wheel can have a rotation speed speeder than the lower one, and for that reason, the ball will be given an effect to the ball. And in second version, we can add some two new wheels to add more effect, etc., etc. So I decided to do this wheel. This wheel is composed by 2 parts. First part it's the wheel, and the second part it's the part which be in contact with the ball. So it must be a part in rubber, like a tire for a wheel of a car. So my first solution to design. So I designed first solution. It's the first solution I imagined, and I wanted to mold it, creating two mold. Each mold will be half the part of each part of the wheel and the tire, but not possible to mold it, to mill it, because I was an undercut under the wheel. So second solution I've achieved thanks to Saverio's help, was a wheel and a tie which will be the negative of the wheel. So I designed it, and this solution seems to be okay to be built. So so afterwards I prepare the box to be milled. So first you have the tire, lower left, and I will be cast directly the rubber silicone in it to directly get my tire, and up at your right you have the wheel. So I have to cast the mold, and in the mold I will have to to cast the resin in the resin. So the touchy part of the weekly assignment was to mill the box with the big CNC machine. It's always a stressful time because the CNC machine is very busy, and I had a short time to access it. So I have to prepare my VCarve file. First simulation was about 35 minutes of milling, and I was helped for this step. It's a step for me a little complex. VCarve Pro is for me still complex software. So I followed the advice I was given, and the milling was in 3 parts. In 2 parts, excuse me. First was to do some pockets around the wheel and around the tire. So I have to redo my Reno file to extract 2D path, and secondly to mill the surface in 3D of the wheel, even if this surface is not useful to be very
Now I understand what happened. I didn't understand what you were telling me about the 2 different paths. Okay.
Yeah, the difficulty was to align the 3D path on the previous 2D path, and machining it. There was about 2 millimeters of error. So I stopped the job. I've tried to redo my VCarve Pro. So I restarted the job. And the second error, there was a second problem of alignment. So this time my wheel was erased on 2 millimeters. So I explain it in the job.
Okay, let's try to close the explanation.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
So casting, it was very easy. So easy because we had a good instruction last Thursday. So for me, no problem to do it. The result for the mold is nice.
Very clean, like it.
Very clean, very nice. For the wheel, for the tire too. But I noticed that the tire is not totally square. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe
this is the bottom part of the wheel.
No, it's the left part of
this
of the tire. Yeah, I don't know why.
Actually, I had the same problem. The walls are not completely, at 80 degrees and 90 degrees. I mean.
But is it in the wax or is it in the rubber only?
It's in the wax. I think it's an issue with the milling.
Okay.
So.
Why do you think?
It looks like it could be the same issue we have with the circuits.
Sorry, Matthew, no, say again. Sorry, I overlapped with you.
No, I'm saying that it could be the similar issue that we have with the milling the circuits. We have rounded edges, so it appears everywhere there's rounded edges.
Or maybe the bed is not flat enough, like the part of the.
No, I think it's a question of acceleration, not lack of precision when it gets to the angle. I'm thinking. I'm not sure.
Okay, you mean sorry, because I see.
So result is quite good. but not perfect. To improve it, I had to reduce the size of the tire. Maybe do an offset of about 2 millimeters in Rhino to have a good adjustment between the wheel and the tire, and understand why it's not square. So I don't know, and I can simplify my wheel. My wheel doesn't need to be curved on its surface. So,
Anyway, I really like the job. Even if you have this problem, I can see it in the future when it will be good and looks like it's a good design.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think it's a good design. I just have a quick comment about the fact you're saying that the first wheel design you couldn't make. You could have made that if you were doing a countermold, mold and countermold. So you do that in 2 halves, and then you when you cast it, you join the 2 part of the molds.
Yes, but the problem was the milling, because you have to do, if you mill it this way, can you see it? Then you cannot do this part on the milling.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, I understand.
So that was the only problem.
Yeah, it could be done with milling techniques, with the square and mill. If I did a square curve into my wheel, well, maybe, but too difficult and very touchy configuration. So
anyway, I think you did a good job.
No, that's great.
Also, given the short time.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Aldo?
I think it's a good job. The round edges. Saverio, but do we have some tries with a square, with some little squares, as we said last time? Because if it is a problem of acceleration, probably we can find the right settings, no? By doing some tests on the square. The work that Ludovic did, just to have a more specific comment on it, it's we are kind of establishing a general level, and this is absolutely in line. It's very well. It's also documented the error is exactly where you are at. The process is clear, but Ludovic, when you explain a project, try to be a little bit more. How you say? Also, Thomas, let's try to find the way to tell it in 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Let's shorten just the explanation. Not for me, but because in general we need to tell those things to Neil, and we need to compact the information that we give. In general, the process is clear, and all the material used is there to document the process. So it's good. It's a good, a very good result. Another comment that I want to do, since I understood this is related to your project, right, Ludo? Perfect. So another comment I want to do is that we will have a final project review, probably on Friday. I'll set up the time frame with Saverio and Mathieu, and we're gonna do a final project review every 2 weeks, apart from the regional review. Okay. It's also gonna. I want to test and I want to check your development and the progression that you are doing for the final project. So also good move that you put it in line, you put it in the direction of what you need to achieve for the final project. That's gonna save you a lot of time afterwards. Good. Saverio, for the comment of before, for the square, just a question, just to understand.
I didn't understand very well. What do you mean?
No, I mean, do you think you and I think it can be useful to have some little tests by doing, squares or whatever easy form we can do with the CNC in order to really check if there is a problem of acceleration, whatever it is, because the final result, that I saw before, it was great. I mean, I was not expecting it, in these two cases something so detailed with the CNC. I don't know. In 3 years, we never thought about using the big CNC to do the molding and casting. And on the Min from WOMA was telling me since the beginning, for him it was possible to do it. No. But yeah, I was not expecting those results. You know, such an accurate work that is very similar to the result that you achieved with the monofab. And also, sorry, but Thomas and Ludovic, is there any information in terms of time of milling?
Yeah, they wrote it.
Okay, no, because now I'm checking your screen. Where is it?
I wrote it at the beginning of the paragraph.
Yeah. 12 minutes.
How much it took to do it?
My milling was initially it was 35, and with the second solution it was about a quarter of an hour, 12 minutes.
No,
that's because you used the 2D, let's say, method.
But
Thomas, how long was your Lego at the end?
The estimated time with VCarve was 1 hour, but I didn't use 100% speed. I used at the beginning 50, and then I increased a little bit step by step. So it took like 1 hour and a half because I had a lot of 3D roughing to do.
There's also something we have to say, that's the shape of your models. I mean, you did some choice because of the machine and because of the mill we had. So, for example, like the Lego, putting the parts of the Lego figure in some directions, it was because of the mill we were using is a 4mm square. So it's okay. We can do things, very good things with the large CNC. As long as you are into some certain field of freedom, okay?
But I guess this depends on all machines. Eh? I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Every machine has, as we did, has some limitation that you need to understand in order to, get the best out of it. But as you said, once you understand the rules, you can adapt your design to it. Sare, how much do you think to do Thomas mold?
Say again, because I didn't read you.
With the monofab, last year and even in the previous years, we spent quite a lot of time in molding and casting, in doing the mold. So for something like the one of Thomas, I think it can easily take 2 hours.
Okay.
I have the impression that it's getting faster. That's the thing.
Also, we are using a 4mm bit, and so like you are cutting like through butter, so you can really go fast.
We were using less than that. Actually.
No, we were using 164 and 132.
No, that's for the board.
Yeah, we were using 116 and 132. Okay. Okay, guys, perfect. Let's go last but not the least, the K team.
Roman? Assignment?
Yes, thank you.
Molding and casting.
Roman, 5 minutes for the explanation.
Yeah. So, I tried, I used the list of applications here. I thought what I can do, and I decided to make the molding and casting for the crater on the moon. I just searched, first of all I passed my time to create a 3D model, based on the grayscale images of the crater. You can go a little bit down and you will see this. So this is the two crater I tried to do. I took the Tycho crater and the Copernicus crater, the two of most known on the moon. So I used the tool that named PNG23D that permit using the grayscale make a STL. Then I passed on the mesh lab to reduce the number of edges because it created the millions of edges. So to improve a little quality. Then I tried the different approach. I thought about the color map images by the difference. So I go on NASA for this, and I found that it already did the STL of some things on it. So I took the STL of crater I want. It's like, okay, 2 hours later, I had already my STL done, and I go to the to make a 3D model for this. So passed just after Thomas, I saw the problem with the milling bit that he had. And it was the problem because the milling bit that has the structure, the V view design, so it cannot enter in the very corner of my model. And instead of pass and redo the model, I thought if it's possible to limit the second pass of the end mill. So here is the settings of the vCarve that we can limit of the pass for the second for the one of the milling just on the area that we want. But as well, I don't really said the week we're not really master of the vCarve, so I'm going to the machining. I do my machining of the wax brick. Here is some info about this, and then I go to the creating the molding. I use the silicone rubber. It's silicone rubber. That's it. To make the first molding. The main important notice how we should do molding to avoid all bubbles in it. 24 hours later, it's dry, so we can do the final model. Here is my model of crater, and then go to the resin to make it the final result. And we can see that in vCarve it was not really good. Here is the final result. We can see the second pass of the milling bit. We can see all the ways.
Yeah, because it was. Have you done a screenshot of the of the settings?
No, I didn't.
Because it was probably a problem
here is the
step
settings.
over.
Sorry. It is. You see, no, it's okay. You were on the good position. Just a little bit up. Yeah, here is. So we are cut direction clean. It is offset, not raster, but not too much, not too many
passes. Yeah, because if the mill, what is the size of the mill you use?
1.5 millimeter.
1.5. So the step over. And also is a ball nose, so the step over should be very small to avoid this thing. Let me show you. So you see, you can see the passes.
Yes, of course.
And if you reduce the step over, you can see smaller and smaller passes until it's so small that you don't see them anymore. But anyway, it's a very good job. I would document better this thing, because here in this part you just said the same problem as Thomas, but I would like to see the picture of the milling bits with the showing the thing that can go down here, and maybe also the thing that you could have done the sides of the mold angled, but it meant redoing the 3D model. So in the end, we just decided to do this thing, which is very helpful, and it's a good idea. Just to stay in vCarve and not go back to Rhino. So I would like to see 2 more pictures.
Okay. Noted.
Romain, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm asking again this question about what is the size of the milling bit you used?
4 and 1.5 millimeter.
Sorry?
4 millimeter and 1.5 millimeter.
1.5 millimeter. I think like the probably is the problem with the size of the milling bit. I guess you have to use the one we use for doing the PCB boards, like 164 or 132.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like the kind of 3D model you have, it has like really tiny undulated surfaces. You know, and last year during our time, there is a guy Hashem. He did also surface of the moon, and instead of using those bits, he used 32 bits, and he managed to achieve the good result. But it took like it took him like 4 hours to do the milling.
Okay.
But it's the matter of the size, because it depends on your model, the details you want to achieve. You have to use the tiniest one, I guess.
Okay.
So maybe if you want to try again, if the Pablo has a time for 4 hours, maybe you can use the one again.
Mm.
Yeah, if just as an anecdote, if you ever come to Barcelona, you could go see Fab Lab Castelldefels, because they work with ESA, and Milena, who's working there, she specializes in she makes surface of Mars on a large milling machine.
Really?
The special foam, and that's really nice. That's pretty nice what she does. So it's interesting.
Good. I'm sharing the link from what Chirac said. Mattei, if you can share the link from also from this race in Barcelona, would be nice if you have it reachable. Saverio, you can go to the link that
Yes.
in our chat. This is the exercise Chirac was talking about. It's a very interesting project, first of all. Romain, good job. Global mapper, Thingiverse, but I guess he took it from Thingiverse, so it was not taken from the NASA. It's better what Romain did. Okay.
But also one thing, like probably as every one of us are saying about the machines, really a limits of the machines, which is a really good, like the Pablo Academy Paris is setting an example about like while using a big machines you can achieve like very small detailed things. So that's a really good thing, and I think that's what you have to also push a little bit on your documentation, that you are not using a particular machine to do the particular exercise, but you are using these machines to achieve the building big machine to achieve the very tiny details, which is really good. So that's a good job, guys, for that.
You see that Hashem at the end. This is also something that you should try to do. Save, stay there.
Yeah.
Playing a little bit with other materials, no? A little bit of the iron. I don't know if I can bring it there. But you see that it's also interesting to see the.
You didn't get any iron metal?
No, they didn't get any metal because we got the metal because it was the Fab 10. It was coming directly from Boston. It was
no, but it was part of the material list.
It's not the metal this year and also last year was not part of the material list. It was a special thing that we had in Barcelona, basically. Okay, so yeah, I would say that all the comments are valid from both sides and not from all the 3 sides of the instructors. Again, very good job. Let's, if it's possible, adjust the final result. But in general, very good. I'm curious to see Frederic. We can go back to him next week, Frederic and Guillen, the work that they did for the assignment. Okay. Oi, ciao, ciao, Romain.
Ciao.
We more or less we saw the result of the students in WOMA in volume. What about Digiscope?
So I tried to connect like I don't know, like 15 minutes ago, but I couldn't connect to you, so that's weird. Well, here today we have Andreas. He's always here. That's perfect. Progress. Andreas just finished the video. He's pushed it on YouTube.
So the internet was down. I'm back.
YouTube. Okay. And they're doing good, as far as I know. So you can check week 9 and week 10. And you can also check this video link I'm going to share with you in a second. It's a very modest but working video that shows several states of the machine development. Here we go. And so they basically assembled it and made the cut of a piece of vinyl with it, with the laser. And it's being shown in 3 phases in the video, very short. So maybe Andreas wants to say something to you?
On the machine?
Yeah, for example.
Hello everyone. So the machine, which was a laser cutter, is functional. The only problem that we have is
I'm sorry, the video is shown?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's one of the problem is we can see that for a laser cutter it's really slow, but that's because of the low power of the laser that needs to pass a long time on the material to be able to cut it. But the cool thing is I was able to directly use Pronterface to quickly write some G-code to send it like as a reprap. So I thought that was a cool thing to be able to quickly transform the view of the reprap way of building with the ramps shield to transform it in another machine. So that was I thought that could be a good thing.
Yeah,
and at the point that I'm willing to change my final project to maybe do a laser cutter, but in a more semi-professional way, and maybe try to show that we can have a cheap laser cutter, but still keeping the security and not having to spend a lot of money in a lot of fancy electronics.
Amazing job, eh?
Only thing is that vinyl.
Yeah, it is a vinyl, so that was the thing that I don't want to say too much because it didn't really smell good at all.
It's like the only thing you are not supposed to.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I wouldn't agree at all what was the fumes that were coming out. But the cool thing about vinyl is that since it was black, it was really easy to cut. So after I did the next steps were done with paper that I would paint in black, because white paper I couldn't cut white paper. It wasn't possible. The laser the heat wouldn't accumulate enough on the surface.
Because the laser is reflecting from the bright surfaces, no? So for that reason, it's able to accumulate.
Yeah.
That's interesting, but I mean, maybe it's also about the power of the laser. Like if you increase maybe the power of the laser, I don't know what is the...
I was already, I was able to find the data sheet on the internet since I got it from a DVD burner that I had the specs, and I was already like cranking the laser a little bit over his normal rating with a stabilized power, so I was at the limit, and I didn't want it to burn it. So, but yeah, essentially it was a problem with the power of the laser.
Yeah.
I was also able to engrave a black PLA just on the surface. It was really like kind of scrapping it, but it was already, at least I could see that I had some results.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting because I think then you have to think about a name which is very dark for your laser cutter. And you already got 1 star. That's really good.
It could be interesting to do a two-step laser cutter. First, you have a black pen that traces in black where you're going to cut, and then you can cut because you paint in black before you cut.
That's one idea as well.
That could be funny.
They draw it, and then you got it.
That's a really smart idea.
And then I don't know if you can see on the video, but our main concern was to try to enclose the laser beam. So I think it was a proof of concept that it was possible on this small scale laser, because I've been kind of putting the camera everywhere and I hadn't have any flashes of light. But I think if I want to do a final project, I will have to encase the whole box and make a security if we open it, because even if it was cool to be able to not having a box around all the laser, I think for just security concerns, I will build a huge box and just contain it. Yeah, those were my first tests with a quick cardboard, and you can see the laser kind of wanting to leak out of the box.
Yeah.
So that's it for the machine, but I think I want to do another one.
For the interface? What about it?
So that's what my concern for the next of the journey is. I don't know if I want to, as I want to do a laser cut for my final project, I don't know if I will still want to use the same electronics, which is the ramps, because using it at this speed was no problem. But I think that if I want to use a laser that is more powerful, I will be able to move at quicker speeds, and I don't know if the ramps will handle that, especially if I want to move in the X and Y direction at the same time. So that's my concern for the moment. I don't know if I, on one hand, make it affordable and really accessible to people that already have a rep wrap, so they can quickly just change the head and a little bit the G code and have a laser cutter, or I don't know if that will have issues with the velocity of the ramp. I don't know.
But how much RAM it is?
How much what?
The RAMs you saying, no? RAMs, like what is the power of this board?
Yeah, and that's my other concern, is that it's limited to 12 volts in for the NEMA, so for the steppers.
Yeah.
And since I might want to do a little bit bigger laser cutter, I'm going to have to use NEMAs that use more than 12 volts. So that's another problem, and I think I'm going to have to change the electronics and the controlling board. But I thought it would be cool to try to keep the rep wrap format, because a lot of people have been already using that for the 3D printers, and maybe they got a little bit fed up about 3D printers or want to change their way of building. So being able to quickly go in a laser cutter mode, I think, in my opinion, I think it would be pretty useful. And maybe I'm not aware of all the problems that I could face, but for the moment, I think it worked pretty well.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's a very good job, huh?
Thank you.
You supposed to present it to Neil?
Yes, it's today. Today, we're the first.
I don't want to miss this. It's a very nice job. Well, I will not go into the documentation, organization of the work, but I don't think it's necessary now. But yeah, even the construction of the structure itself is beautiful.
Thanks.
In terms of design, absolutely beautiful. This is another project that should deserve a publication, I guess. Good job.
Thank you.
Let's do the molding and casting, and then we close the final review, the regional review. You were not there, but I was commenting with the students in Paris that we will try to have final project review this week on Friday. We can make it for France, for all the France region, or we can make it by labs. But I guess the instructors should start to do the kind of follow up for the final project of the students at least every 2 weeks. So we should start this week, and then we're gonna have in 2 weeks another review. Okay, let's do the molding and casting, and then we go on.
I think there's no molding and casting.
So actually, I was pushing it right now, so maybe I can talk about what we've been doing.
Okay.
No, I prefer to see the documentation when it's there.
Okay.
We can do. We can, if it's already done, we can start with you next Wednesday.
Okay, no problem. Perfect.
Okay, very good. Okay, good. So I'll see you later. If my students can stay a little bit more, now that we close the regional review, I want to talk with them. Good. So thank you, and we'll see you later at 2:30.
Thank you.
Factors and 3 with you guys.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.